Liverpool are breathing new air at the start of this season, and the spotlight on Anfield could not be more intense. With the transfer window finally closed, Arne Slot's side now enter a crucial phase, turning the assembled squad on paper into a truly cohesive and competitive team. After months of speculation, negotiations and twists, the Reds have much to celebrate and a few question marks still to resolve. The biggest bombshell of the market was the arrival of Alexander Isak, who landed in Liverpool for the astronomical fee of £125 million. The Swedish striker, signed from Newcastle, became the most talked about name not only among fans but across the European sporting scene. The deal dragged on, marked by setbacks and advances, but in the end it was completed. Now Red supporters have on the pitch one of the most exciting attacking prospects of the moment, someone who could change the club's destiny in this long and challenging season. Not everything, however, went according to plan. Crystal Palace centre-back Mark Guéhi looked all but certain to strengthen Liverpool, but the deal collapsed in the final hours. The reason? Palace were unable to find a suitable replacement to release their captain, and so the England defender remained in London. For the Reds, the frustration was clear, but at the same time there is a sense that good options still exist within the squad, especially with the rise of young talents. Speaking of youth, one of the most intriguing names to appear at Anfield is Giovanni Leoni. The Italian, just 18 years old and a standout for Parma last season, arrives with the status of a prospect and an imposing physique, standing 1.93 meters tall with a commanding presence on the pitch. Leoni has not yet had the chance to debut under Arne Slot, but behind the scenes, it is said to be only a matter of time before he makes his mark. The disappointment of missing out on Guéhi could even turn into opportunity. Could it be the young Italian defender who surprises everyone and wins a place quicker than expected? Yet, the name dividing opinion most right now is Federico Chiesa. The Italian forward, signed for £12.5 million, seemed destined to leave the club during the window, as he had not been getting the expected playing time. But everything changed when the Reds decided to part ways with Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. Suddenly, space opened up for Chiesa. He now finds himself facing a season that could define his career at Anfield, especially as he must prove he can be trusted in decisive moments. Still, a shadow looms over his physical condition. Gennaro Gattuso, manager of the Italian national team, revealed in a press conference that Chiesa is not at peak fitness. According to him, the forward admitted he does not feel 100% ready to face the challenges of the season. This statement, relayed by Gianluca Di Marzio, has put both Italian and English fans on alert. After all, Liverpool cannot afford to rely on half-fit players in a calendar as demanding as the Premier League. Gattuso, in fact, went further and commented on the wider picture of Italian players abroad. The signing of Giovanni Leoni by Liverpool was used as an example, and the coach highlighted that although many talents are moving to other leagues, Serie A still needs more protagonists. He mentioned Raspadori and other youngsters seeking opportunities outside Italy, stressing that while this shows the quality of the players, it also exposes a worrying gap within Italian football itself. For him, the ideal scenario would be to see more stars remaining in the domestic league, strengthening its identity. Back at Liverpool, the mood is one of mixed expectation. On the one hand, excitement with names such as Isak and Leoni. On the other, doubts surrounding Chiesa's real physical capacity. Arne Slot, who took on the challenge of reshaping the side, must find the right balance between experience, youth and fitness to navigate a season that promises to be one of the most demanding in years. The Premier League is long, grueling and unforgiving. Every point dropped can mean the difference between fighting for the title or settling for European qualification.
Most intriguingly, even without Guéhi, Liverpool may be facing an explosive combination of talents. Isak arrives with star status. Chiesa, despite the doubts, has the chance to prove he can still be decisive at the highest level. Leoni, meanwhile, represents the future, a centre-back who could become a rock at the heart of Anfield's defence. Above all, Arne Slot must orchestrate these elements in such a way as to turn uncertainty into belief. The coming months will reveal much about the direction this Liverpool side will take. Will Chiesa recover his full fitness and shine as many hope? Will Giovanni Leoni adapt quickly to the frenetic pace of the Premier League? And will Alexander Isak live up to the enormous investment made in his signing? These are questions already fueling debates among fans and pundits alike. What is certain is that Liverpool enter this new chapter laden with hope, tension, and a touch of mystery. Arne Slot holds in his hands pieces that could transform the Reds into a winning machine, but also risks that could prove costly. The season's only just beginning, but one thing is clear. Every match, every decision, and every performance will be closely scrutinised, as if part of a story in chapters that nobody wants to miss.
The atmosphere at Anfield remains electric. If, in the previous report, we highlighted how Liverpool became the star of the transfer market with heavyweight signings, as well as some uncertainties surrounding names like Federico Chiesa and Giovanni Leoni, the spotlight now turns to the most expensive signing of this new era, Alexander Isak. And, as expected, his £125 million arrival has not only raised expectations on the pitch, but also ignited heated debates off it. Fans, pundits, and even former players have not stopped weighing in on the transfer that shook the Premier League. The truth is that Liverpool are experiencing a unique moment. After investing over £400 million in reinforcements, winning their first 3 Premier League matches and taking top spot in the table, Arne Slot's side appear to have rediscovered that sense of dominance the supporters had long demanded. Yet, alongside the euphoria came controversy. Is Isak, the Swedish striker who swapped Newcastle for Anfield, really the missing piece? Or just another player surrounded by pressure and skepticism? One man who certainly did not let it slide was Chris Sutton. The former player and current pundit went straight to the point. For him, Isak was selfish and disrespectful in forcing his way out of Newcastle to fulfill his dream of playing for Liverpool. The criticism came during the Football Daily podcast, where Sutton and Joe Hart discussed the behind-the-scenes of the move. Hart tried to soften the stance, saying the striker simply followed his desire to play for the Reds, but Sutton stood firm. According to him, the Swede ignored his contract and simply did what he wanted, regardless of anyone else's view. That sort of judgment, of course, only adds to the intrigue and pressure surrounding Anfield's new number 9. After all, this was a signing that smashed the British transfer record by some distance. The fee paid for Isak places on his shoulders the obligation to deliver eye-catching numbers immediately. Every missed chance, every below-par performance will be turned into ammunition for critics and rivals. The Premier League is ruthless. Either you deliver or you become a target. And that is precisely the dilemma Isak carries. Liverpool did not just buy a striker, they bought a renewed hope of glory. Arne Slot needs him fully in sync with the rest of the squad to transform investment into silverware. The supporters have already embraced the Swede, but they also know patience is not a common virtue at a club used to fighting for everything at the highest level. If Isak fails to replicate the form he showed at Newcastle, scoring consistently in decisive moments, his arrival could quickly be branded a costly mistake. On the other hand, if there's an ideal stage for him to explode, it is Anfield. Alongside fellow signings such as Ugo Ekitike, experienced veterans who understand the weight of the red shirt, and a manager willing to be bold, Isak has the chance to become the talisman Liverpool so badly need. And there is an important detail. His contract is long-term, 6 years, showing the club do not view him as a short-term gamble,
but as a cornerstone of their attacking project for seasons to come. Chris Sutton may call Isak selfish, but modern football is full of stories of players who backed their choices and were rewarded. The truth is that amid the criticism, Isak has the opportunity to prove he is not just an expensive forward, but a shrewd investment. Someone capable of leading Liverpool's attack and restoring the Reds to the summit of English and European football. The coming months will be a true trial by fire. Isak will have no time for a gentle adjustment. Every match will be a judgment, every goal a statement. He arrives surrounded by expectation, controversy, and even a degree of hostility from outside. But that can become fuel. Arne Slot knows he must shield his new star, build his confidence, and create the conditions for the Swede to transform pressure into performance. Meanwhile, the supporters celebrate, the media speculate, and the rivals hope for failure. The fact is that Liverpool's 2025-26 season has already begun with a hefty dose of drama and spectacle, and Isak is the leading character in this storyline. Will he be the hero who justifies every penny invested, or the villain accused of selfishness and failure? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: nobody will be able to take their eyes off Anfield.